everyone. Today we got to play Tiny Epic Western. So this is the end of the Tiny Epic series. And then we're moving on to Western Wednesday. So this is the end of one era and going into a new era a little bit.
A 29 game era, at least as of right now, right?
You said we had 29. Now, that's how many I inventoried that we had that I found.
So if we go up to 30.
It could go up more. It depends on what comes out and what we receive.
Either way, we got a bunch.
You buy, okay.
We got a bunch of Western games we're going to be playing here.
Yeah. So let's dig in, guys. Okay, so tell us about the game.
I will after you do the obligatory.
Oh, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell.
That too.
Those are important because you want to talk about games with us.
And you really want to know the next time we do a video.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to make sure you see every moment of this.
That's right.
All right. Tell us
stuff.
Tell us about the game.
So Tiny Epic Western came out in 2016. The designer is Scott Alms, who's designed all the Tiny Epic games. Art by Adam McIver. Publisher, as with all the other Tiny Epic games, is Gamelin Games. MSRP is $35. The mat, as usual, does not standard with the game because that big mat won't fit in that little box. It's $30.
I really want to try.
I'm not going to because it's my game. And then it plays 1 to 4 people.
Okay, awesome. So let's dig into quality of pieces. So you have your standard wooden markers, wooden meeples. You do have these really cool bullet dice. I thought that those
are neat.
Those are really neat.
What was odd about the cards is the cards that came in the box with it, they went through 1 through 10. They actually had texture. They actually had.
Let's do a disclaimer here. So I made a mistake when we played the game. I thought, because as an add-on, you could get a full deck of playing cards that match the same suits that is in the game. So I thought we could just play with the full deck instead of the 20 card deck that comes in the box. I was mistaken. So it really complicated the game and made it tougher than what it really needed to be. And so please make sure you play with the standard or the deck of cards that it comes with in the box. Don't add in the extra cards.
Yeah. Because the actual what comes in the deck does have a linen finish.
So actually in the box is got texture to it as well as the buildings and all the other cards.
Yeah. So with the playmat, they come with the
different buildings.
The different buildings themselves. There are a thick paper with some type of finish on them. They almost feel like cards, to be quite honest.
And they're two-sided based off the number of players.
So overall quality of this.
Oh, we got the little meeples.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said, the wooden meeples. But they do actually.
And the influence tokens are silkscreen and shaped. So those are kind of neat.
Yes. So those are pretty cool. Giving it a score, I'm feeling without the mat definitely around a 7. Because I think there's a lot of there's the few unique pieces with the bullet dice, with the meeples that are shaped accordingly, the linen finish on the cards. I think it's pretty good. The mat, I think, escalates it at least half a point. So that's where I'm at with this. What do you guys think?
I was more in the 6 to 6.5 range without the mat, and 7 with the mat is where I'm at. I just don't see that the pieces are that great. The cards, even the ones that actually came in the box, while they had a finish, they weren't the best cards in the world. And these are worse.
I think I was going to say 6.5 myself. It's just, pretty, other than the dice and other than the silk screening on a few of the pieces, it's pretty standard fare.
Yeah.
And so
I do like the dice. They are cool.
But yeah, the bullet dice are pretty, even though they hate me.
They hated all of us, to be fair.
No,
they hated me.
They didn't hate your dad.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. My dad knew how to roll them.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dig into theme. Does this feel like a Western to you guys?
Yeah, because the game's got elements of poker, which we'll talk about. It's got elements of dueling, like so I like that part of it, which Miranda didn't like the attacking part of it. I'm fine with it. If my dice rolled better, it'd have been a lot more fun for me. And the art, it's definitely Western themed with the art. So, is it super strong? No, but it's definitely there. I don't feel like it's just pasted on.
Yeah, what do you think?
I personally don't feel like it had enough of a Western feel. It was missing things like, bank robberies or train, heists or, the different things you think of when you think of a Western. Anything with any kind of steer or there's nothing of animals involved in it at all. It's just purely
It's
the
on
cards.
the cards.
Yeah, they're pictured on the card. I mean, the poker element was cool,
Yeah.
how they incorporated it, but apart from that, it didn't really feel that Western-y. I mean, there was a lot of dueling.
Got a poker chip.
It does have a poker chip, but it's not real. It's a plastic. That was one of the big things I was disappointed in. I was like, oh, it's not a clay chip. It is just a plastic poker chip.
Bless your heart.
Oh, I know.
So what would you rate? So theme wise, so what would you give it?
I'm probably gonna give it a 7 because I think they did incorporate the poker element pretty cool into the game. Apart from that, I don't think it really had a great Western feel to it.
I think a 7's about appropriate, and not because I don't think there wasn't a Western feel. I do think that there was a Western feel. However, with so many other Western games out there that we have already played, that we already know about, it's not as strong as some of the other ones we've played. So with that, I do think there's a lot of aspects. They did incorporate some of that theme in with it. I'm good with the 7 too.
I'm good with 7.
Yeah.
So it's there. It's just not strong.
Yeah. So moving on to rules.
How do you want to do this? Because you and I both kind of read them.
Go ahead.
All right. So the rules are, first of all, they're 19 pages long, but that's including a solo variant. If you're just looking at the standard game,
it's half a book.
Yeah,
so,
it's
so pretty tiny.
Yeah, it's not big. It's not hard to read. It's 17 pages of actual material for the game. They're pretty clear. I mean, there are a lot of images. The game is not that difficult once you get to learn it. It's and there's a little cheat sheet on the cards.
The round summary.
Yeah, that helps. And again, it's similar to some of the others.
Yeah,
It's on the back of one of the other cards.
Yeah, so it's a 4-player game, but you get 8 different characters that you randomly pick, and then the other character that you didn't pick, you can use as your cheat sheet.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the rule book, I personally think it's probably an 8. I mean, it with the combined with the cheat sheet. Now, the cheat sheet is very tiny print. You have to have really good eyes to read it.
Or take off your glasses.
It depends on what your glasses are there for. If I took them off, it would be just a big blur.
Okay, so let's move on to gameplay. So the gameplay is so you get 2 workers. Well, you have up to 3 workers, but typically you're only going to play 2. And with those 2 workers, you're going to place them on one of the buildings that are available. And there are 2 options. Most of them have a minimum of 2. They have up to 3. One is to play a porch action, which is based on the cards that were built at that location. There's also one that you get an instant gratification for, so it can be 1 resource, or you can wait and defend the area and get 2 resources out of that. But you only get to choose one of those actions. So do you want to wait and risk not getting anything at all? Or do you want to just keep it safe and just get 1 little item? So you kind of have to navigate how you want to do that. And then, so once everyone places all their workers, and if you place a worker on top of another worker, then you have to duel. And that duel is done by rolling 2 different dice on each side. And then, so it's based on that value. You can then choose to add your card value to the value of the die. But once you use your card, you cannot use it again in the next round until it's time for poker. Now, the thing I'd like to admit that by exposing your poker card that you see, you're letting everyone know that you could possibly win certain hands, so then people won't necessarily go where you're at, because if you got a winning hand, or it lets them know that you have a crappy hand and that you're not going to win anything, so they are going to go attack you. So holding that information is actually kind of important if you look strategy-wise for the game.
Well, and there's also the sheriff's office, which lets them modify their cards. So if they see they could potentially change their card to make it beat you, it gives them that information as well. So it lets them either change the value up or down 1, or the suit up or down 1, because it's basically clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades rethemed to be cowboy themed, with a top suit being like spades is in this case cowboy hats.
Yeah. So once all the workers are played, then it triggers those actions that required you to wait for the end of that phase to be determined if you get the resources.
If you won the duel.
Yeah. So once everyone determines whether you won the duel, you got the resources, all of that, then it moves on to who's going to go up against the dealer.
The rival.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, the rival.
Yeah, the rival.
Okay, so then you pick out whoever has the best hand using the 2 cards that are surrounding the building and the one that you have yourself, and whoever is on that board, the one with the best hand, goes against the rival. If they win another bonus that is labeled on that building. Once you go through all the buildings, once that's completed, then you determine who's actually going to beat the rival, and that person gets to move up the end of game victory points mechanism that they have in this game. So that kind of summarizes it.
Briefly,
Every
yeah.
player has their own special ability, so you do get some of that.
You play 6 rounds, and it's determined based upon these rankings of these colors, purple, green, and orange, which are icons on the cards that you build. So you can collect them and try to move the one that's going to be most beneficial to you up on the chart, because there's only going to be one in first, one in second, and one in third when the game's over.
I did forget a big point. The whole reason why you're collecting resources is to build buildings, right, on your porch. So I did forget that. Each of those buildings are worth different victory points, and like you said, depending on the icons, could be worth more victory points at the end of the game. So what was your guys' favorite mechanism of this?
Well, it's definitely the poker. I mean, I think it's a really neat aspect of the game. But I like poker, so
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
Well, that poker was my favorite and my least favorite part, because poker was, it was fun to play the poker game. Bad part with it is it basically drove or limited me on the choices I could have to where I wanted to go.
right, because you had a good hand there, but not over there.
Yeah,
So,
and so I mean, there was no reason for me to go to certain locations because I couldn't possibly win at poker, and most likely I wasn't going to win at a duel because I didn't have very good luck with the dice,
Right.
nor did I have any reason to go to those places as a result. You are very limited in this game on the number of spaces you can go to, so it's basically to force duels to happen.
Yeah. So what was your favorite? Oh, you said poker. You said poker kind of a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite
the
part
duel lanes.
is I got resources. So I wasn't a big fan of this game because, like you mentioned earlier, the attack component, it forces that attacking, which has never been a big fan. But I think there is so much luck in this game. There's no catch-up mechanism really, and there is no you get bad luck.
I wouldn't even say it's luck that's the problem. The problem is turn order is the problem, because
I think it's luck and turn order.
whoever is
they're
last
both.
has a significant advantage in the dueling. I did like the mechanic with the rounds driving the scoring at the end, because that was a mechanic I've never seen before, where you level up one of the 3 tokens for each round and ultimately get a first, second, and third. I thought that was clever. But as far as the gameplay, I found it very limiting. I found if you revealed your card, you put yourself in a vulnerable position. And if you're not last, you're going to lose. I mean, there was no doubt about it. You were going to lose the duel because somebody would come along and take it right away from you.
I dislike the game in the aspect that it's all or nothing. So if you win, you get all the good stuff. If you lose, you get absolutely nothing. You don't even get a secondary, consolation prize.
Well, you do. You get a consolation prize being you unlock your
which
third
is
worker
worthless
for a
because
round.
the third guy does not help you. So it didn't help me at all, because I would still have to go somewhere, most likely duel somebody, and lose. So again, it didn't help me at all.
Yeah,
I thought the third guy was pointless.
Yeah, I don't think it was a good catch-up mechanism. I know that's what they tried to do with this. They didn't. Now, I will say that, and I talked to you a little bit earlier about this, is that it would be a little bit different if you go into this game knowing it's completely luck-based and just having fun with it.
Right.
But I think with our group, we're very strategic and we want to win and we want to have control. We want to control being able to win. that is not this game. And so I think you have to take in consideration what this game was meant for. If it's meant for, you know, hey, I'm going to strategically place here, here, and here and be able to build better, yes, that is not this game. But if you're just going out to, you don't mind dueling and you don't mind having fun and making jokes and just going after each other, this might be a lot of fun for somebody. It's just not my cup of tea. So, yeah. You guys got scores? What are you going to give it?
I didn't hate the game. I just don't love it. And the odd thing is that I remember playing this a few years ago, and I thought it was great. And then playing it now, not so much. I don't like it as much as Catan. And that kind of hurts my heart because I remember it fondly a few years ago. So since I don't like it as much as Catan, I can't give it a 5. I'd have to go 4.5.
Yeah. What about you, Randy?
I'm trying to recall what I gave Galaxies because I want to put it above Galaxies because that was my least favorite of the bunch, which is funny because Rob likes it. I absolutely hated Galaxies.
I like Galaxies without the expansion.
Yeah, but I can't recall what I gave it. I know it was not great.
I think you gave it a 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I did not like it at all.
What's wrong with Galaxy?
I didn't like the follow mechanism.
I remember that now.
Hated that.
I remember that now.
In this one, I liked everything about the mechanisms of it. It was just
executed.
The execution of it was the problem. The execution of having someone, whoever's last, automatically winning the duels, I did not like at all. Now that does give you a value in the third player, though. If you basically know you're going to win the duel because you're going to be third.
But when everyone has one.
Yeah, but if everyone has one, yes, that's not a benefit. But yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that, the poker hand part was fine. I just kept losing at it because I had a great hand every time. I had a great hand every single time. I never once didn't have a pair, or at least, if not like a straight or three of a kind or something. Yeah, but every time somebody had a slightly better hand. And the first hand, we had 2 jokers in the mix, which weren't supposed to have been there, which caused a problem. So
again, I'm sorry that I used the full deck of cards.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's just, it is a way of what played out.
So give it a score.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 5.5, I think. I liked it better than Catan because it's shorter, and I like the theme of it a lot. Which Catan basically has very little theme per se. So I think I'm going to give it a 5.5. I don't remember what I gave to Galaxies, but hopefully it was less than that. I know I didn't like it.
Right. So for me, I'm not gonna. Catan is way better. This is not my kind of game.
So why are you gonna score? You gonna give it a 2?
No, I don't think that's fair to it. I mean, I could suffer through this. I feel like a 2 is one of those, I'm deathly ill. Oh, guess I can't play. This one I could suffer through. I'll give it a 4 because I could suffer through it. It's not like I'm trying to strangle myself or anything. All right, cool. So that's it. Well, we hope you guys had fun and hopefully we gave you something useful information. Mm-hmm. If not, tell us what you want to hear about next time. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Y'all.
Y'all.
How's my hat?
Is it started? What?
I always ask about how's my hair. So that's got my hat.
Your hair is fine, Randy.
Question. Did you get the mic on?
Yeah, the mic is on. The camera's recording right now.
Okay.
Do I need to step out?
What are you doing?
He's bumping hats.
That's how we do it down in Texas, y'all.
You never lived in Texas. You don't know.